But today starts our 5-day course on AI, on how we can use Gemini to help us with our real estate careers. The first week we're going to be doing is creating a business plan for you that you can use on a daily basis. On the second week, this is going to be every Wednesday at 2 o'clock. On the second week, we're going to be doing a multi-channel marketing plan for you. It's a 30-day marketing plan. It's going to hit your social media, print, and email marketing. It's going to give you 30 days of content to use, when to do it, and everything like that. And then you can use that same prompt every month then that next 30-day marketing. Third week, that's when we need to use Gemini Pro. So if you do not have a company email address, I suggest that you go ahead and get with your ASC and get one, because we do need the company, we do need Gemini Pro, because that has the photo editor in there, Nano Banana, which we will be using for that. The fourth week is we're going to be doing a listing copyright. This is going to help you to write different articles for your listings to go out to different types of people and different demographics. And then your last module is demographic intelligence. This is where you're going to find out where your people are coming from and write marketing materials for those types of people. So does that sound good to everybody?
Yes.
Okay, so how many people have used Gemini before? A lot? Some, maybe? I know
Yes.
you have. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen and we'll get right into this thing as soon as I figure it out. Okay, is everybody seeing my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So to get into Gemini, you do have to be in either your regular Gmail account or the corporate Gmail account. And up here on the top right, people are still coming in here. How do I get people in? Hold on, let me stop sharing and see if I can get these people in here. Okay, they're in now. So let me go ahead and go back to my sharing. Okay. We need to start showing up on time, people. Okay, to go back here to how I get into Gemini, you come up here right next to your name, and you have these 9 dots in a square in a box. Click on that, and you'll see Gemini somewhere in that area. So just go ahead and click on that. And this is what Gemini will look like. Up for the first time, it will have some steps that you say okay to or something like that, but this is what Gemini will eventually look like for you. Over on the left hand side, you'll see one of the first things is new chat.
I can't hear you.
Chats, but this is what we are going to be doing, is creating chats for GPT, or I mean for Gemini, to go ahead and help us out with our business plan for today. Within the chat area here, you have different options. If you wanted to add a file, you can add files by clicking on a little plus sign. You have different tools here, which are down here in the bottom also. And then over here on your right-hand side, there's a module here for fast, thinking, and pro. We're just going to stay with the fast right now. If you want to get into the thinking and the pro actually takes a long time to come up with the answers, but it's a lot more detailed answer than what the fast or the thinking will do. Then also, if you're in a private room, instead of typing in prompts, you can go ahead and use your microphone to type in a prompt. Let me see here. Some people are, let me go in. There we go. So that's how we get into Gemini and everything like that. So anybody have any questions on how to get into Gemini? Is everybody in there now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So what we want to do today is try to get you out of a agent mind thinking of a business plan and make yourself your CEO. So did everybody get the handouts?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so what we want to start doing is putting in that master CEO prompt. And what this will do for you is actually create a business plan with yourself. It's going to give, you needed to come up with what your average sales price is in your little niche market or in your actual market, your days on markets, what your net goal is. And the net goal, it means, is how much money you want to put in your pocket at the end of the year, minus your expenses. So that's your take home money that you want to do. So once you go ahead and start typing in that prompt or talking the prompt in if you're by yourself. So let's go ahead and give you about 2-3 minutes to start typing that in. Okay. And one thing when you start typing in prompt, you do not really want to hit the return button until you're finally done. If you do, don't fret about it, because what you can do is you'll go ahead and see, if you go scroll up to where your prompt start, you'll see a little, let me see if I can show you one here. You'll see a little pencil here where you can edit that prompt and add more information to that prompt. Okay. So I'll bring up my prompt that I initially put in, and this is what it looks like. So once you're done putting in the prompt, somehow give me a heads up that you're done. We got some done. As soon as you're done, go ahead and hit your enter button. And what you're going to see is some math equations, probably see some math equations. This is how Gemini starts figuring out how many sales you need. It's going to tell you how many units per month. It's going to eventually tell you how many calls you have to make on a monthly basis, how many leads you need, how many appointments you need to make, how many contracts you need, the closings that you need, and everything, all that good stuff that you don't want to take the time and energy on trying to figure out yourself. One thing that Gemini does, it's a very good mathematician. So it does provide you all this good data. Next, it's going to give you some market strategies. In my market that I use, we have a 4.6 months of supply, which is basically a neutral to healthy. And it has the strategic recommendations focused on listing attractions. If you had a higher months of supply, it's probably going to ask you to focus on buyer attractions. And then it will come up and actually give you a daily success schedule. This is what Gemini feels will go ahead and allow you to make your net income that you ask for. If you do these steps 5 days a week, so I'm asking for 7 days a week, but 5 days a week, you'll meet your goal at the end of the year. Has everybody go ahead and put in their prompt and looked at their results?
Now,
Well, what's the question? we're supposed to get
after
to?
I went into Gemini and I went to fast, where was I supposed to go after that? I'm a little bit lost.
Just start typing in your prompt. Right there in the big middle screen, you'll see it's got, like down here on the bottom, you'll see enter a prompt for Gemini or something like that. That is where you would want to put your first prompt. One thing that with prompts, when your first major prompt of a new chat, there's 4 elements that you need to put in there. One is basically who you are, or who do you want Gemini to pretend to be. This is where it comes up with, says, I'm a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker Premier Properties. That's telling Gemini that you're an agent with Coldwell Banker Premier Properties. So this is how I want you to make this business plan for me. Then you need to give it the context, which is the data. You're going to give it all the data that it needs to create this business plan. Then you want to know what you want it to do. That's where it comes out here, like based on a 4.6 months of inventory, advise if I should be focused on listing attraction or buying nurture in Q1. And then how do you want the output to look? Generate the daily success schedule that blocks time for lead gen, follow-up, and content creation. So those 4 areas, your role, your context, what you want it to do, and how you want it to be on the output are essential for any prompt that you do within your chat. How are we coming with everybody getting done with this first prompt?
I'm good.
What do you mean that what prompt goes in?
I
It's
found
the-
the box where you're supposed to put in a prompt, but I don't see a thing where it says fast, where you said it says fast. It's just got a bunch
Don't
of.
worry about that. What it is it's right over here on the right. Just leave it like that. Whatever the prompt comes up with, just start typing in your prompt. You see it over here on the right-hand side where my mouse is going?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. It defaults to fast. So just start putting in your prompt. When you get done doing your prompt and you come all the way down to the bottom, you're going to see it might ask you a different question at the end of your prompt. It's, like mine says, the first step to get your engine working, you need 10 leads this week. Would you like me to draft a 90-day content calendar specifically for listing attraction? We don't want to do that right yet because we want to do some other prompts within this chat. Okay. So what we want to do is, if you go down into your handouts, we want to go down to that supporting your checklist and success, the survival number. We want to know what the minimum GCI is needed just to keep your business running. This doesn't mean that you're going to be making a profit, but this is what you have to do to actually just break even at the end of the year. So what you want to put down here at this bottom area then is just say, based on my plan, what is my monthly break-even point? That's all you need to do, because it's going to use the data from your initial prompt to come up with this information now. So all you're doing is just adding to that initial prompt now, you want to get some more data out of that initial prompt, so you can understand better where your business plan needs to be. Yep, that's the prompt that you want. So as you see, it's going to, if we factor in a 20% expense ratio, your math shifts. So now what we're going to need is 17 units here per year. If we figure in, I think up in the original one, it was 15 units a year. Now I need 17 units a year now to add in to my costs, which would be your MLS fees, your marketing fees, all your other fees that it takes to run your business. And then it comes in with managing the 100-day gap. What this is that in my analysis, we had about, I think it was 100 days. What's the days on the market? It had 100 days on the market. So it's figuring in that 100-day gap from list to sale price. And now it gives you all this other good information for the cash flow lag, 4 to 5 months, 100 days plus 30 to 45 days to close. Inventory buffer to use your break even. On your goal in June, you must have at least 4 active listings or pending contracts by the end of March. So it gives you an idea of what you need in order to meet your goals at the end of the year. If you see that you need to make a whole bunch of phone calls every week, you can go ahead and ask it this: how much I need to increase my average sales price to reduce my daily lead gen time by 30%? What this will do is give you the options of staying what price point you want or moving up to another neighborhood with a higher price point. That way, now with that higher price point, now I only need 10 units instead of over here was 14 units.
Tom, mine had a commission at 2.5% though. So if you're doing 3%, then
Yeah, any of those metrics, you can change your price, how much you charge your customers. All that will change how many units and how many phone calls you need to make then. Then it'll come down and give you a comparison table where the current strategy, I had to do 3 hours of daily lead gen time. Now I'm down to 2.1 hours. So now I save myself almost an hour a day for lead gen just by moving up to a higher priced area. And it will do the same thing if you change your compensation from whatever 2.5, even up to a quarter point to 2.75. It's going to change a lot. Then it comes up and gives you your CSO. Does anybody know what CSO stands for?
No.
Come on, think. Chief Strategy Officer. That's what Gemini is becoming, is your Chief Strategy Officer now. So like on mine, it says to execute this shift, you must change your listing attraction strategy. Geographic farming, you need to pivot your marketing spend to neighborhoods where the median price is $485 or more. Your niche targeting, focus on move up buyers rather than first time buyers. And your value proposition at $485 price point, clients expect higher and marketing, i.e. professional video, staging consultations, and premium photography. And then my next prompt at the end of that, or next step, mine come up said, would you like me to run a search for specific neighborhoods or zip codes in your service area that hit the 485 median mark? And all I did was put yes. And Gemini went out there and looked at all of Flagler County for me, and came up with the 32137 North Palm Coast was at 495. Cypress Knolls at 479.9. Palm Harbor was at 449. And Grand Haven Ocean Hammock was 599, 867 was the median prices. So it gives me an idea of where I might need to focus my marketing dollars to. Brett, okay, you did that. Darlene, what's up? You might be muted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So I'm copying this under Google Docs, all my answers I got. I mean, is that the best way to do it so we can save this, or does it save on Gemini?
What you can do, that was my next thing after we got all of this. If you scroll down to the bottom of your outputs, you'll see these three little dots.
Okay.
If you click on that, here you can do export to docs. This will automatically export this to your Google Docs. And
Okay.
save it.
Perfect.
Okay. Also, if you come up and you see these graphics like this one is right here with the your new target neighborhoods, if you can export this right to Sheets, or you can come over here and copy the table and paste it in another document if you want. So are we all good with this? We want to move on? Is this giving you some good ideas and good information so you can really hone in on your business now? And how long do you think this would have taken you to create if you had to do it by yourself? Couple minutes? No? Okay.
No.
So now let's go ahead and move on to your handout over to the part 3, your data versus insight. What Gemini gives you is insight. You give it data, and Gemini is going to give you insight. And it's basically anyone can send a report, but what we want to do is we want to explain what that report is to your client. Because right now, be honest with yourself, how many of you send just pieces of data out there to your people or post it on Facebook, like the RPR reports or something like that? Do any of you explain what that might mean to a customer? Probably not. Do we understand what that data means?
Nope.
If you don't, well, this is what's going to happen. So go ahead and start typing in that other prompt, the content-rich prompt. This is where you want to get into a specific neighborhood that you want to market in, that you want to control. So this is what the prompt would look like. You know, I'm a real estate agent, Coldwell Banker. that I'm telling Gemini who I am. I'm giving it the content where it says my GCI goal is 133,333. We got that from the first prompt that we did, because the first prompt was our net prompt, but it told us what our GCI had to be in order to get that net, correct?
Yes.
Yes, okay. We also are telling it what the medium sales price is, what the supply is, and then we also want to let it know what the absorption rate price is. Does everybody know what the absorption rate is, what it means? This is the percentage of homes that are active on the market that will sell at any given month. So this is telling the customer that at 21.88% of the listings will sell within a 30-day period.
And that's based off the 4.6 months.
Correct. So once you have that prompt in there, go ahead and hit your return button, and it's going to give you the answers that you want. Like mine says, with 4.6 months of inventory, Indian Trails is currently in a balanced market, traditionally 4 to 6 months. However, your absorption rate of 21.88% is technically above the 20% threshold. That 20% threshold is like a national threshold number, which signals a slight seller's market tilt. Because inventory is still below the buyer's market 6 month mark and demand remains steady, we focus your plan on listing attraction to ensure you control the inventory in this balanced to tight environment. Yours will probably going to read something different depending on what your absorption rate is and your months of inventory. You might be looking at more of a buyer's market versus a listing or a seller's market. But it'll also come down and give you your financial breakdown now. Your annual GCI goal is 133,000, your sales price, then the average commission per side. I had mine at 2.5%, which is 8,872. Your closed units needed, I need 15 units. And your listing versus buyer mix, I need 11 listings and 4 buyers to sell. Then it goes on to say that my goal is to close roughly 1.25 units per month. And it says to account for fallout, you should aim and put 2 properties under contract every month. Then it comes up with your market condition strategy for your listing attraction. It talks about direct mail. Then the monthly market snapshot postcard, highlight what the absorption rate is, explain this to the neighbors. Demand is outpacing supply by 20%. Now's the time to sell before inventory climbs. Has the coming soon. This is using the exclusive look for any listings that are coming on that you're getting listings on. And then it should give you some lead sources. Mine, it gives me the high value listing lead sources, the absentee owners, the trade up campaign, and the circle prospecting. And then keep on scrolling down. You have your operations and marketing activity plan. This is your weekly activity metrics. Hit 15 closings. To hit 15 closings, you need a consistent funnel. Conversations, I need to have 40 real estate conversations per week. I need 2 listing appointments per month. And a database blast, 1 blast email via Coldwell Banker CRM. hiding local Indian trails trends. The listing attraction, marketing stat, do a video, State of the Indian Trails monthly video. Social, run a Facebook, Instagram, add geofencing strictly to Palm Coast. What is your Indian Trails worth in 2026? Inventory is at 4.6. So it's going to give you ideas of what you can be doing. Then it'll give you my quarterly milestones. Q1 will be database cleanup. Q2 would be increased direct mail frequency to bi-weekly. Q3 would be to elevate the price to list ratio. And Q4 is a review of GCI. Ramp up maybe FSBOs and expires. Once you have all that, now what you want to do is you want to do a deep dive into your lead gen strategy. This is where you can do some predictive prospecting. So you want to put in this other prompt right there. This is not a new chat. This is continuing with this that existing chat. This is where it just says, based on a 97% sale to list ratio in my area, write a script I can use to call my sphere of influence that explains why now is the time to sell to maximize their profit. Then calculate how many of these high value conversions I need to have daily to hit my closing goals. So go ahead and lets me know what my SOI script is. It gives you the intro, the hook, and the close to use. It will give you the conversion math that you need. And everybody loves to do math, right? I don't hear anything, so I guess that's a no. It'll also give you your daily activity requirements. It gives me the power hour rule because you only need 3 to 5 qualified conversions per day. You can achieve your 133,333 goal by dedicating just 60 to 90 minutes every morning to your phone. And then it also breaks it down. 5 conversations a day is equal to 1,250 conversations a year. Even at a conservative 1.2% conversion rate, which is the national conversion rate, that equals 15 closings. With your sphere of influence, you're going to be a lot higher. I think your sphere of influence is more of the 5 to 10 percent conversion rate. Now, mine asked a question. This isn't in the handout. Mine asked a question. Would you like me to create a home equity checkup email template you can send as a follow-up to these calls? I just said basically, yes, prepared home equity email template. And that's what it did. It created the email template that I can use to send out to my sphere of influence. So this has given us everything that we need to make our business plan viable and for you to meet your goals at the end of the year. So I'm going to stop sharing now. Does everybody have all of this information?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. So let me know, did you follow along?
I got a pretty good idea.
Um, this, you do have to do, get these numbers for the market that you want to work in. If you're brand new to the business, your best bet is like your neighborhood, probably where you live. Uh, um, to get those numbers, and you want to make this as specific as you can, because you can't market effectively to like the entire town or city that you live in. You can market effectively to a smaller group of people and still meet your goals if you do it correctly. And that's what this business plan is doing. You notice all your calls are going out to your sphere of influence. It's not going out to cold calling or anything like that. You can also go ahead and use some of this information, and it's actually going to be part of next week's plan. You can use some of this information to create flyers to send out to your neighborhood too. Let them know about what's going on within their market area in their town. So there's a lot of things that you can do within your business plan to help you create your make your goal at the end of the year. So what are we saying about this? We like it or not?
Yes.
I need some input on this thing because I think they want me to do this for everybody.
Yeah, it's gonna take some practice.
Yes, it takes practice. You got the prompts. All you have to do is fill in that data to the prompts. Okay. And you can use, Gemini is good for everything. Now, does everybody have Gemini Pro, which is the company version?
No,
Okay, if you don't, get with your ASC and they'll set up an account for you. You'll get an email to set it up. You will need the Pro version for the third class, which is where we do the photo editing.
okay.
Okay,
Does the Gemini Pro cost money?
no,
Okay.
for individually, yes. If you use the company email, no.
Mhm.
Okay, now for next week, and each week it's going to be about the same, somewhere around half hour to an hour, depends on how fast you type or anything. But for next week, this is what you're going to need. You're going to need a monthly anchor. And what this could be is like a big event happening in your community. It can be a open house, local festival, a market milestone, anything like that, but you need an anchor, what they call an anchor. Then you also will need a local success metric. This might be where maybe you'll start seeing the sale price is either ticking up or ticking down by a good percentage point, or where you might have helped a buyer or seller purchase a home and have them move in. You might have sold the last 2 homes above the average list price to sell price ratio. Anything like that you can use as a local success metric. And then the biggest thing is your brand voice. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be that luxury polished person, the friendly neighborhood expert? This is important because this is Gemini will go ahead and create a lot of the dialogue that will emulate that luxury or that friendly neighborhood expert. So try to find out who your brand voice is. It doesn't have to be either one of those. It could be something else. It could be oh, I don't know, a country bumpkin if you want, if that's your niche market, okay? Whatever it might be, okay?
Do they do a voice overlay?
No.
Oh.
No, they'll just write the scripts and everything like that, within that tone that you have in that brand voice.
Okay.
So any questions for next week? No, so you need your monthly anchor, your local success metric, and your brand voice. And if you don't have the company email, go ahead and get that from your ASC. They'll go ahead and get that set up for you, and we'll go from there. Sounds good?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, Tim.
Hopefully you got something out of this class and be here for next week's class where we're going to do that 30-day marketing plan for you. So thanks a lot for coming, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks
Thank
a lot.
you.